Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made my large marquee numbers. This has been a long-awaited video. I have been wanting to show you guys how I made my big 21 that I did back in September for my 21st birthday, but this is close enough. I'll probably make a video on that later on. But I did make this big 40 for my brother's surprise birthday party and it went great. And I know that marquee numbers and letter rentals can get pretty pricey, so I wanted to find my own way of making this without using complicated materials like wood, because I don't have the tools to be drilling and cutting, and it just seems way more difficult to do it that way. So I actually found an easier way to do it, and it's super inexpensive. All I used was poster boards and a glue gun. So if you're interested in watching, feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned. I got this picture from Pinterest, and this is basically how I plan on making the large marquee 40. And as a reference guide, I'm going to use this picture of a number 4 that I got off of Google. Right now, I'm just sketching out the number 4. I'm really just winging it with the measurements, but if you have a phone projector, you could definitely use that to have an easier time sketching. So this is how the number 4 looks. I think it came out great, especially for it being my first try. I did want to point out that you should try and make the width of the number the same all around. So I did 8.5 inches wide for each side. For this part, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut out the whole number. I got this one from Walmart, and I want to say it was $5. With the knife, I'm going to follow along the lines as precisely as I can, and this part can get a little messy because the poster board is made of foam, so little pieces will get everywhere, but it's easy to clean up. This is how the 4 looks cut out. There are a few details that bother me, but that's okay because these things aren't always going to come out perfect. For the sides of the number, I'm going to cut out strips of foam board that are 6 inches wide. So with a regular sized board, I'm able to cut out 3 strips total. When you are done sketching the strips using your ruler, your foam board should look something like this, and then you can start cutting. Using the strips of the foam board, you can measure out the sides and cut what you need. So for this part, I'm starting at the bottom, and I'm going to use my glue gun to secure the sides onto the number 4. I finally have all sides of the number 4 glued down, and this is how it looks, and I am really happy with how it came out. Moving on to the 0, I'm going to start by using my white Gorilla Tape to combine 3 poster boards together to make the number close to 5 feet tall. This is how the poster boards look combined all together. To sketch out the 0, I'm using a measuring tape to find the center of the board. I'm only marking the end boards because the middle does not need to be messed with. And then I'm also going to be using yarn, and I'm going to be marking the center at the top and bottom of the first board. And I'm going to cut the length of the yarn that I need, measuring from both centers. So that I can mark where I need it to be, and I'm going to secure it with a thumbtack on one end, and on the other end I'm going to use it to hold my pencil. For this part, I'm going to have my boyfriend hold the end of the yarn with a thumbtack while I trace out half a circle with my pencil. You will have to hold the pencil at a weird angle, so just pay attention to that so you don't end up going off the board. Once you have sketched out half a circle on both ends, you can finally use the X-Acto knife to cut along the lines. To complete the sketch of the 0, I'm going to draw the inner circle using my ruler, and I'm going to go around the whole board measuring out 8.5 inches and then marking it out so that the width of the 0 matches the 4. So this is how the inner circle of the 0 looks after marking the width needed. Now I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and cut out the inner circle so that we have a complete 0. This is how the 0 looks once it is completely cut out, and it definitely came out better than I expected. Now to make the sides of the 0, I'm going to start by using a strip of foam board, and I will be drawing lines all across, and using the width of the ruler, it will be my measuring guide for where to trace the next line. This is how the lines should look once you are done tracing them out. With the X-Acto knife, I'm going to cut along the lines, but not all the way through the board, just enough to where I've cut through the top layer. So the reason you don't want to cut completely through the board is so that you can slightly fold where the lines are so that the whole strip of foam board is able to bend and be flexible enough to go around the sides of the zero. Now we can glue down the sides, so I'm going to start first with the inner circle of the zero, and I'm going to glue down the strip of foam board one section at a time so that I can get around the edge of the curve as precisely as I can. Once you have both curves of the inner circle glued down, you can start gluing the sides of the middle, which will be a regular strip of foam board that isn't cut because the middle should have a straight edge. Now we can start gluing down the sides of the outer circle of the zero, and again we're doing it one section at a time, and because the outer circle is wider than the inner circle, I did have to make and use two strips of foam boards that had the cuts in the folds so that it could be flexible all around the curve. And I also wanted to point out that to complete both numbers, I used 6 foam boards for each. This is a finished look of the zero with all the sides glued down. Now, because these are going to be marquee numbers, we have to cut out circles throughout the whole number to insert lights. So I'm going to use a scrap piece of foam board as my measuring guide as to how far apart I want the lights from one another. And I also cut out a circle in the middle so I can trace it out onto the inside of the number. Again, using the X-Acto knife, I'm going to cut out each circle all around the number. For the zero, we're going to repeat the process and use the same scrap of foam board to trace out the circles. To make these marquee numbers, I bought this pack of lights from Walmart, and I want to say they were $5 to $10. Now that all the circles are cut out, we're going to flip the numbers over and insert the string of lights once you have removed all of the bulbs. Now I'm going to stand the numbers up and start screwing all of the bulbs back on. This is the final look of the Big 40, and I'm so happy with how it came out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching.